What's going on, ladies and germs, and all aboard for my review of Jungle Cruise. That was a bad intro, but that's okay. That phrase, ladies and germs, it's like, ladies, you're so prim and proper and beautiful and amazing, and men, you're germy, you're disgusting, you're gross. Whatever. Never really understood that. But anyway, I'm talking about the film Jungle Cruise, starring Dwayne Johnson, aka The Rock, Emily Blunt, Jesse Plemons, Paul Giamatti, and a few others. So, talking about this movie, I was on excitement level for this movie because I kind of thought I knew exactly what it was going to be. You know, they've made several of these films so far about Walt Disney World, Disneyland attractions getting their own story and their own movie to boot. And I gotta tell you straight up, it is that. It's almost a copy and paste at some points of Pirates of the Caribbean. I don't know why I just lost my ability to speak just now. It's been a long day. Anyway, and I'm sorry that this review's so late. I know this movie came out last week and I actually saw it a few days ago. It's just been busy as always, and it's been hard to find time to record this review. But I gotta tell you, I'm gonna go ahead and let the cat out of the bag. I loved this movie. I loved it. Is it formulaic? Is it the same movie you've seen with several of the others? It is. It's not very original. It's not even necessarily that creative, but it is just bundles of fun. It really is, and it's fun for the whole family. It's rated PG-13, and I can sort of see why, but really, if you are looking for a fun family movie to take the whole household to, I think this is it. If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, it sort of goes there in terms of darkness and all at some points. And let me backtrack a little bit. The basic plot is this. Emily Blunt is an archaeologist in the 1920s, I think it was, back when in a time where a female had no voice in the scientific community. But she's found this item that can lead to this fabled land and retrieve this MacGuffin type thing. I'll leave it at that. But she's not being taken seriously because, of course, she's a woman. And Jesse Plemons' character, fun fact about actor Jesse Plemons, I first saw him, as many people did, on the show Breaking Bad. Great TV show. It's about a guy who develops cancer, and since he thinks he's going to die, he starts to cook crystal meth. And Jesse Plemons looks a lot like Matt Damon. So for the longest time, I called Jesse Plemons Meth Damon. I leaned over to my wife, like, look, it's Matt Damon. And she laughed in the middle of the theater, and I felt kind of bad. But it's all right. Jesse Plemons is a really good actor. You know, in Breaking Bad, he was a despicable character, but you got to give the guy respect because he takes on a variety of different roles. And this one, he plays this German prince who is trying to get this MacGuffin to help the Germans out. Emily Blunt interrupts those plans, and she needs to find this thing, but she needs to find a way there. Enter Dwayne Johnson, who is a skipper on this boat ride, and I thought it was so cool the way they did this, because if you've ever ridden the Jungle Cruise ride at Walt Disney World, then you know that the host they use dad jokes. Well, Dwayne Johnson's character uses dad jokes in this, and it's great because it's The Rock. His charisma is just overflowing. I guarantee you every scene he did was improv because it looked like The Rock back from his wrestling days, where he just came up with things on the cuff, on the fly, and it was just hilarious because the guy is charismatic. He's one of those actors that you can watch him in a root beer commercial and you're entertained. It's the best root beer commercial you've ever seen. He's one of those that's kind of like Cena and Batista are doing now. He started off as a wrestler. His first several movies were not very good, but the guy has really blown up and become a star. And he and Emily Blunt are hands down the best thing about this movie. They have amazing chemistry. They work great together. I forget the actor's name, but he plays Emily Blunt's brother, and he's really good in the mix as well. Dwayne Johnson also has a pet jaguar, and that's fun. There are a lot of funny moments there. Again, with the actual story, the tone shifts in the second act. I will say that it starts out as like, hey, Emily Blunt needs to hire Dwayne Johnson to get her to this place, and it's like the Jungle Cruise. The second and third acts change into a completely different movie, and it almost, again, at some points, it is just about copy and paste from Pirates of the Caribbean. And so, in that sense, there aren't many things in the movie that will surprise you. And the areas it goes, you may be able to see it coming. And some people may like the original tone in the first act better because it does feel like a completely different movie later on. But for me, I was enthralled by it. Now, I've seen reviews for this movie, and they're mediocre at best. Some people are giving it bad reviews, and to each their own. Again, is this the most original movie I've ever seen? No, but I just had a blast watching it. I don't agree with the critics on this one. You know, I've seen most of the big summer blockbusters. In fact, I've probably seen all of them this summer so far, with the exception of maybe Old, which at this point, maybe I'll see it on Redbox or something. I don't know if I'm even going to try and see it at this point. But this might be my favorite movie of the summer, not of the year. There was one that came out earlier in the year that I haven't reviewed on this channel yet that's still my favorite, and maybe I'll review it at some point, I don't know. But I love this movie. I'm giving it 9 out of 10. I think this is the highest score I've given anything. I forget what I gave A Quiet Place Part 2, also starring Emily Blunt. Mind you, I'm kind of a fan. But I love this movie. Again, it's not original. It's not even that creative, but it's just fun. It's one of those movies you go to, it's like, hey, not every movie I see has to have a perfect original story. Sometimes I just want to go to the movie theater, eat some popcorn, drink some soda, and have fun. And that's what you will do with Jungle Cruise. Again, it's fun for the whole family. There's some scary imagery in there, so if you have really young kids, it might not be for them. But there's no profanity in the movie. There's not one single curse word in the movie, and how rare is that today? If there was, I missed it. But I'm a big fan of this movie, and even though it's been out for a few weeks, if you're looking for something, if you just want to go to the movies and spend 2 hours just in another world, I recommend going to see Jungle Cruise. So I loved it, my wife loved it, and I think you will too. And if not, that's all right. Leave a comment below, let me know. And if you haven't, like, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time. My next review is probably going to be Free Guy, but we'll see. Again, school just started back. I work at a school, so I'm not going to have nearly as much time to see all these movies as I have been, but I'll do what I can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later.